Today, I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on the new Joker movie, what nobody's talking about. Spoilers are ahead. You have been warned. What's up, YouTube? Thank you so much for joining me. I want to talk about free will and how it impacts this movie and my thoughts and opinions on it. I think a lot of different people have made, again, a lot of different videos on the Joker, but they're all talking about what's real, what's not, some of the different mental aspects of the movie, but I want to take this in a little bit different direction. Before I get started, I just want to say as well, I've never watched a movie. I watched it with my wife last Tuesday, and it's the following Tuesday, and I'm still thinking deeply about the movie, what's real, what's not, and all these different scenarios in the movie, and looking up different videos on them too. So very interesting. So let's start out with the mental abuse in the movie. Obviously the main character, Joker, Arthur Fleck, was very much abused by his mother in the movie and by her boyfriends in the movie. He even comments how he was chained up to a radiator during the movie, and I don't know, there's been different analysis of this, whether it was some kind of, sexual fantasy, whether he was potentially, is horrible, even sexually abused, like beyond the physical abuse. And again, his laughter stems from that physical abuse, the way it sounds, that mental tic that he has. Whenever he gets nervous, he has that laughter that he just can't contain. So that probably stems from those beatings that he had when he was a kid. So again, he talks about when he goes to his psychiatrist and he's talking to her, and he even asked his psychiatrist, like, are you truly listening to me? Because again, she just kind of felt like she was there, and the psychiatrist mentions that he's going to have no more funding, so that part of the psychiatric part is going to have no more funding, so he's not going to have his medications, he's going to have no one else to talk to, so all these different things are happening in his life. And again, he's working, and there's debates whether this actually happened or not too, but he's outside and he's dressed up in his clown outfit, and his sign gets stolen from him, and he's chasing him down, and his boss, he loses the sign, so his boss says if you don't return the sign, you're going to get fired. So life after life is just throwing him curveball after curveball, and he just can't quite catch up. So it's really all about society just beating Arthur Fleck to his knees. It's all about, I know the movie, that's what it's really getting at, is society is creating this monster, is creating the Joker, and what I want to talk about is how it's still free will. Even though all these things happened, you still have to take responsibility for your actions. And I think this one scene really depicts this extremely, extremely well. So there's that scene with Arthur Fleck on the bus, right? And I think it was that girl that was on the bus with him, and there's these three white dudes, and they're all just picking on this girl, and they're making her uncomfortable. And again, he has that mental tic in his mind, and he just starts laughing uncontrollably while he's dressed up in that clown outfit, and it's obviously very strange. And it's just that girl, those three guys, and then Arthur Fleck on this train in the middle of the night. And so then they start picking on him, and it turns into a full-out physical assault where they start beating him down. And obviously, it's self-defense, so he was given a gun, and again, you can argue whether that he should have had that gun because it wasn't registered, this and that, but he uses it in self-defense and shoots at the guys that are attacking him, and he kills at least one, maybe two of the guys right there. And again, in my book, that's self-defense. It was probably justified to do that. But there's the line, and it does a very good job of the guy crawls out of the bus, and Arthur Fleck follows him out of the bus and chases him down and watches him as he's crawling away. And he could have let him live. He could have saved his own skin, but guess what he does? Puts a couple bullets in his back to finish him off. And that is where he crossed the line into being an evil man in my book. That is not justifiable. He did not need to do that. And so again, even though all these things, his mom, he had a terrible childhood with abuse, the medications, he was no longer on them, all these different things, you still have to take self-responsibility for your actions. That's the way society is set up. You know, even with the court systems, you can't go to court and then say, hey, based on your childhood, you know what? You killed a guy, we're going to give you a free break on this one. Society will not work if we're going to have it that way. It's all about free will, and it even gets into it a little bit between like Christianity and atheism is a little bit as well, whether we're just a bundle of cells, you know, and we're just, these molecules are just floating around and neurons are firing in our minds, and it's all predetermined what we're going to actually do. So therefore, you know, if we're all just a bundle of cells and there's no higher power, then these neurons are firing in my mind in a certain manner, so therefore because they're firing in that certain manner, I'm going to be predetermined to be a murderer or a thief or a rapist or whatever the theory is. No, it's all about free will. You know, we have the free will to make our own decisions, and that's why it kind of scares me with these mind-altering drugs and everything. It kind of takes you almost out of your own mind in some aspects. But that doesn't mean even if it were true, even though I don't believe it is, even if it were true that they weren't fully in their own mind and they weren't quote unquote capable of making their own decisions, it doesn't matter. That's not the way society works. That's not the way the justice system works. We're not going to have a sustainable society if we don't hold everybody accountable for their own actions. So that's my 2 cents in the movie. I think that's a little bit of a different spin than everybody puts on this movie. But I will say this is a great movie, and if you haven't checked it out, the acting is unbelievable. Joaquin Phoenix does a great job. I honestly give this movie a 10 out of 10. Because again, it gets into what's real and what's not and everything, and you're not sure, and there's different theories on the movie, and I know the director even said that he wants to keep it kind of open as well to your own interpretation of the movie and what's real and what isn't. So I highly recommend it. It's a great movie. This is not a kid's movie, but I will give it a 10 out of 10. Thanks, guys. We would greatly appreciate if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment below. Let us know your thoughts and opinions. Thanks, guys.